Hey guys, how you guys doing? I am at Starbucks working, but wanted to come on here and just talk a little bit about a what it takes to actually manage like salespeople, because a lot of business owners really don't know how to do this. So I want to just break down basics. I find that when I tell my people to just do in anything I've ever done, if I just tell my people to just do the basic things, I gotta do a U-turn here, you will get a good result. Now, there's many things that have to happen also, but if you can get down to basic things, which is call quota, emails, text, if you have a quote on text, and what else? Leads and appointments, okay? So, we have a quota for calls a day, and then we have a quota for appointments per day, each person. And then we have different things, okay? So, okay, let me just tell you guys basically how to do it. So, first, what you want to do is you want to just establish what the quotas are, which is the key KPIs, key indicators of performance. What is it? Key performance indicators. They need to hit the numbers. So, I would suggest, this is what I suggest. If you're, let's say you have a pallet business and you just got some virtual assistants and you're training them on the sales script. Okay, first of all, you need to make a sales script, and you need to have rebuttals and objection handlers. So, and what rebuttals and objection handlers is, what do people usually say when you get on the phone, when you tell them about your services? Oh, we already have somebody. Well, how much are they charging? I bet you I can give you a better price. There's different things that you can say when they say certain things, which is called an objection handler. So first, write up the sales script. Hey, this is blank with Pallet America. We remove pallets, and we also we remove pallets so that you have more room in your warehouse. Do you have any pallets you need removed today? Really simple stuff, right? Then you have objection handlers. Obviously this is like when you're talking to the person in charge, right? This is when you're talking to the actual person in charge. Then you have the objection handlers. Oh, we already have somebody that comes by. Okay, well, what if I give you this much money for your pallets? Would you be interested in? What if I can take the other pallets with those too as well? Would that be interested with you? What if I clean up your area for you and blank? Just like different things of how you can add value so that you can get the business. And this is just what we're doing, and I'm in multiple masterminds. I'm just sharing what I'm doing, okay? So you can either do this or you don't have to. It is what it is. For me, I have 10, tomorrow I have 10 places that I'm going to pick up pallets. So, I mean, you take my advice or not, but this is what I'm doing. And, yeah. So, one of the things that you want to do, and this can go for like any sales team as well, you want to keep track of indicators of performance, right? Key indicators of performance. So the one thing, there's a couple things that you have to look at. You need to look at calls made. And this is what we're doing for the pallet business, okay? So let me just talk about pallet business here. But I'll talk about sales in general too. So you need to look at calls made, appointments, leads. And when I say leads, I mean like you made the stage of, if they were cold, You made them go from cold to warm. So how many leads do you have? So you have calls, number of calls per day. We have 80 calls per day. And then we have number of emails per day. We have 60 emails per day that has to be done. And then you have to do 2 appointments per day, solid leads. So what does that mean? That means 2 appointments that have 10 or more standard pallets to pick up. And that's what we're doing now. And yeah, like I said, I have 10 places to go tomorrow, which is pretty fucking cool. So yeah, got 10 places I'm going to be going tomorrow. But I just want to focus on that whole thing. It's so important to have people hit the numbers. Okay, let's just say you've gotten people to get trained. So and then we'll talk about, so those are humongous things when it comes to sales. The key indicators of performance, those things you have to look at every single day. When you have your virtual assistant, you need to look at those numbers. And if they hit the numbers, they will hit the result. You know, it really is a numbers game. You know, I don't care what anybody says. Until you're like fucking crazy with the deals, and your referral. Like, I just talked to a guy. Him and his dad has been on the business for a while, and you know, he's really killing it. You know, he's already killing it. So he just could use this system just to add on to his current business, so it could make his business on steroids. Pretty much, with any kind of sales, you need to look at those numbers every single day and making sure they hit those numbers every single day. And the reason why you want to do that is because you want people to be accountable. Now, I'm going to talk about another thing. The reason why I have my quota for emails is because every single email is a new conversation started. And what that is it's an actual written conversation. So let's say I talk to somebody and they say, hey, you know, we don't need it now, but next week. I'm going to shoot them an email and say, hey, we'll follow up with you next week. This is my email. If you need anything from here till then, we're here. This is my Facebook information. This is my info, whatever. Then what happens is you start to get trust. Why? Multiple things are happening here. First of all, you're talking to them 2 times. So the number of times you're actually talking to them, they're paying attention. Then you have links to your Facebook page and your business page. So you then become credible. So, and this is just, and then you know, that could go from, you could show like testimonials on your page, you know, of your work and stuff like that. Just examples and stuff. If you want, case studies usually are the best thing to have, but just having like a place where they can go on the email and see that. And we're going to be implementing this thing for our business eventually. We're just in the process. I got to get my pictures, or I got to just get my pictures out that you know, of me doing different loads and stuff. And just, you know, I bet I could get some testimonials already from people that I've already picked their pallets up from. So anyways, I hope you guys are hearing what I'm saying, because it's not just about making a call and making a follow-up. That's part of the process, but you want them to see your everything. Like, you want to see, oh wow, that's a nice signature at the bottom of that email that they followed up with me immediately right after the call. And then, oh snap, there's you know, there's his Facebook website, there's his, right? So there's his Facebook website, then there's his actual website with case studies and customers that have already said yes. And you know, you have pictures of those deals getting done. So what happens? What's happening what's happening? There's a guy that's literally dancing on the side of the road. That's so funny. I've see that so many times, where they're just like rapping and they got their earplugs in and they're just rapping their ass off, and dancing. And so, anyways, I got sidetracked there. I'm sorry, guys. But what's happening is social proof. Social proof. You need to have social proof so you can go from a random schmo Joe to a guy that is, that has the social proof that you need. So, this is really important when it comes to business in general. You want to show that you're a professional and you have, testimonials from customers and actual pictures of you doing jobs and stuff. And this is just showcasing your abilities and how dependable you are. So I want to stress this because it's very important that you guys start thinking, three-dimensional instead of one dimension, like just call or just have a Facebook page. Like, it literally, all of it matters. All of it. And yeah, so I highly suggest you start implementing these kinds of things into your business so that you can start really showing up professionally and also having an efficient system. So, okay, we talked about VAs, KPIs, and we talked about showing, three-dimensional market, kind of like three-dimensional marketing. The more content they see from you, the more stuff they see of you online that it looks professional, website, all that stuff, is the more they will want to pick you in the future. It may not be yes now, but it might be a yes later. So just think about this stuff. This is universal. This works for all businesses. Doesn't matter if it's Pallet, anything. If you're a coach, this works too. So just showing these different, how put together you are, you're able to bring in more business because, like I said, you go from somebody that is just somebody right off the phone to somebody that is somebody that's actually a player in the game. You know what I mean? So this is super important that you start implementing these kinds of things. So we talked about KPIs and looking professional, three-dimensional marketing. We'll just nickname it that. Now I want to go back to monitoring calls. And I'm talking about just operational stuff right here, so you guys can kind of get the idea of how the whole system works. There's little pieces of things, but you need the whole system to operate effectively. You know what I'm saying? So then you have this whole system kind of like together, right? Then you have a manager, somebody that is, like I was talking in another phone call, another video, you have somebody that is listening to calls and continuously showing people how to make the right call or improving their call. So giving them constructive criticism. And exactly what we talked about before, you have the manager that's doing the whisper. And I even noticed the past couple days that my appointment rate has went up just by using whisper, and it's really cool. Just using the whisper, whispering and call monitoring, my appointment rate is actually went up a lot. And I actually expected this. So anyway, so now just think about this whole thing that's happening. It's like its own ecosystem. And this is what I talk about when it comes to like building engines. You want to build an engine. You want to build a CRM engine so that most of it, so most of it is automated and you're not doing everything. Imagine if you had to send every single email, do every single call, do every single whatever, mass email. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be horrible. So that's why you need to put in different things to show different stuff. For example, just like we said, guys, people need to see your website. They need to see that you're doing the work. They need to see that you're a real player in the game. They need to see that. Sometimes, a lot of times, most times actually, business owners don't have that. They don't have pictures. And, they can get by with word of mouth. But it's, it's really important to really establish that. Showing that you know what you're talking about. That's why it's so important to show that through pictures and videos and maybe like even instructionals. And that sort of stuff is so undervalued in the business space. Videos and different things. Showing that you're doing the work, showing, how you can add value in videos to their business. And just like this is so undervalued. People just will put up a Google listing and just call it a day. No, you need to have a system that everything works together. There needs to be a sales and marketing system that's working together, like a big ecosystem that's just working together. And it always directs back to, giving a call to your business. It always directs back to that. So you could have a link to your website and have all these different testimonials on them, and then at the bottom you have a call to action. This is so important. You don't need a lot of money to establish this. Like, you can literally, really, you don't need a lot of money. You just got to make sure that things are being executed, things are being done the right way, day in, day out. And you are the person that's just on the dashboard looking at the KPIs and what's getting done. And then, you could also be the person that's listening into the calls and monitoring everything. So anyways, I wanted to make this video because KPIs are so important. You guys if you hire somebody, you have to hold them accountable to a number, to a measurement. If you can't measure it, then you can't get better, right? If you can't measure it, you can't get better. So over time, I'm actually gonna see how many calls to appointments each person makes over time. I'm gonna see that. Like, I'm gonna see it on an actual dashboard. We're gonna run the reports. And this is the beautiful thing about CRMs, is you can look at things from high, so that you can I need to go right here. This is a beautiful thing, because this is actually okay. Thank you. This is a beautiful thing, because this is how you manage a business. This is like how you really manage a business. You have to make sure that numbers are being hit and there's quality calls. And this is kind of like a sales thing more than anything, but you could really apply this to any business. If you're in real estate, you could, I used to do like 3 offers a day, 3 offers on houses per day, and that was my key performance indicator. And then, with test trips, how many leads. So that's a whole different other conversation on how you track. But anyways, that's a whole other conversation. It's very nuanced, but I'm just trying to tell you guys, like, if you have a business and you need to kind of have like this is what it's called, like a funnel. Like it's like a mini funnel, right? It's an ecosystem of a funnel, and there's different things you could do. If you get their phone number, you could text them. For the most part, we don't really get a lot of phone numbers, so I'm talking about like mobile numbers. So we don't text as much, but you know, you could just do calls and emails, and you can see how many people opened up your emails. You can see how many people went to your website. Like, there's so many different analytics that you can plug into that can tell you what's actually happening for your business, but you have to look. You got to actually find the data. And like I was saying, it's so important to look these kinds of things up and try to, you know, use technology as your best friend. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. I would say the last thing I want to talk about is, if your virtual assistants, virtual professionals, salespeople aren't doing the right thing with the CRM, they're literally useless. And I know that sounds harsh, but they're literally useless, because if you cannot track what they're doing, then you have no point of reference. So you gotta start, you have to start looking at business a lot different. It's not just put them in their seat and see what they do. You gotta start keeping track of all the numbers, because that's where you can see what's their general mood over time. So and that is so important when it comes to operating a business, because, for example, let's say a sales rep has 11 good months, and then on the 12th month they do really, really bad. Well, because you tracked them for 11 months, you saw all their numbers. On the 12th month, you saw they didn't do that good. Maybe they did the worst. That tells you that there's something off emotionally. Because sales is really, it's all emotional. So what I'm trying to say is, everything is in the numbers. Like, it's all in the numbers. So you can see if people are in a rut by the numbers. That's where everything shows. So I just want to tell you guys how important that is, that you show these things, right? And be able to see these things at a glance, instead of seeing these things in a weak way, or just like trying to remember. You want to use a CRM as your friend. That's the whole point of this. If you can't fully take advantage of your CRM, you're not going to get the best out of your sales team, and you're not going to get the best out of your leads. You're not going to get the best out of everything. If you cannot fully use a CRM the right way, and then also, if you can't manage a virtual assistant the right way, you are fucked, my friend. Because yeah, you could do things on word of mouth, but I highly don't suggest you do that. Highly don't suggest you do anything like that on word. Don't rely on word of mouth, unless you're super extroverted and you're fucking on fire all the damn time. Then you can do something then if you really that's your character and you want to do it like that, then go for it. But if you want to be smart and build a business that scales long term, that you can measure and improve day by day, week by week, then you want to use a CRM and start measuring KPIs, and obviously, start hiring virtual assistants. So that is my TED Talk for the day, and I hope you guys are doing well. Oh shit, this thing was in the way. Oh well. I hope you guys are doing well, and I gotta get home. See you later.